ready to go to bed. Oh, I wanted to chime in on this DL conversation, and probably not going to be on here that long because I don't really date DL people. You know, I don't. I feel like dating down low men is juvenile. I'm not. It's like something you do in high school. It's to me. It's like high school. It's like youth. I guess because I'm almost 50, I just can't imagine that still being something that I normalize, like a conversation that I'm normalizing. So that's why you don't really get a lot of DL topic conversations from me. Um, because I talk to dudes on apps, but I'm very vocal about who I am on the app. And I don't use the same language other people use. I definitely don't speak about myself like other members of the community speak about themselves. I saw recently Tasha Caden got into it with the trans community again. Child. And I'm not really fixing to get too much into her. Like, I'm not even gonna allow myself to slide down in a lower vibrational frequency to even try to um address Tasha K, because somebody had sent me like a video of some stuff that Tasha K had said about the community. And I'm just not like who called her out, Auntie Hammy had called out Tasha K the other day, and she read Tasha K for filth. I may not agree with all of Auntie Hammy, like, principles and stances, but when she calls some stuff out, most of the time she be on the money when she calls some stuff out. And she called out Tasha K, and she really made you look at how Tasha K have a habit of only wanting to tell bad stories about black people. Like, it's very rare that you will see Tasha K telling stories that are uplifting about black people. And I understand accountability. Like, I understand accountability, but this is a season where we just can't be like every video we just weighing black people out, especially if we're not prepared to have a conversation that's complex, that plays the whole tape, that has nuance. We can't just be sitting around here just dragging bad black people and just condemning black people for a whole 2 and 3 hours. Like, that's crazy. Like, to sit up and drag black people for 2 or 3 hours and not to have no upside. Like, you just to go through segment after segment, and the only ones that you seem to be speaking positively on is people who we probably feel like giving you a little light little coin or a light little endorsement, or people who you trying to win some favor with. But anyway, I I titled the video um Black Trans Women and the DL Dilemma, because I don't really know, what white trans women are going through. I really honestly don't have a clue what they're going through. Um I know that I haven't dated um a DL guy in years. I have been with I have been with I'm not wearing any clothes. Um I have um I have I have accidentally been with dudes who were who were DL, and we probably messed around like one time because they lied, because um they try to pretend like they didn't know my tea. Because I mean, I'm gonna do certain things to let you know, even though I've had the sex change, I'm gonna do certain things to let you know that my
Mm-hmm.
narrative is not the same of a biological female. You know, I'm definitely gonna do some things to let you know. I'm gonna drop a hint in some kind of way to let you know. So you really honestly can't say you didn't know. So I have messed with dudes who claimed that they didn't know and started acting funny afterwards. Um, and that happens very rarely. Like that's not, but I would never like seriously like date somebody who is ashamed. Like seriously like go out and hang out with somebody and try to get to know somebody who I know is ashamed of me. Like I would never do that. And so I don't understand girls who do it. I don't understand why in 2025 um girls who have been living in this community for a long time, girls who have been navigating the trans community for a long time, are still centering conversations about DL men. And I guess that's, it's kind of common when a lot of us are in line with the gay community in that way. I don't want to create division. I don't want us I think that we may have made a wrong decision when we separated ourselves from the gay community, but also there needs to be an understanding that um everybody in the gay community does not move the same way. Like the gay community have a tendency of trying to make things monolithic. Like we all speak the same lingo. Like we all speak like there's a few words that I still say, like fish. Um but I don't really get into a lot of the gay lingo like I used to. Like, you know, stepping away and doing my own thing with Laylim Layler, it really has helped me to kind of like develop a lot of my own lingo. And like y'all been helping to develop a lot of lingo here lately. So just for years now, like there are certain words I use like hunt, like fish. Like yeah, I use that word. Like there's a couple of words that I still use, but I'm not really heavy in the lingo like that. But I've never denied the community. I've never like after I had surgery, I still supported the community, but feeling like I think my issue with the queer community is feeling like we had to be separate from the heterosexual community or separate from the straight community. Like I've always struggled with that. Like feeling like it was us against them, kind of like black against white. Um like it just if to me the gay community, and I understand how our parents and how the church treated us and how the government treated us when we were younger. But I think I've just always had a little bit more grace for people who who are non-queer. Like I just feel like I've always had grace for the people. And I think that's a good way to not have to use cis, like to be like non-queer. That's a non-queer person. Like they're a non-queer person. Or if you're being shady, you're a halfling. But yeah, I've never felt like we needed to be completely divided from them. I've never felt like it was really us against them. And I think that's where the struggle had comes up for me, with some of my trans sisters who fully immerse themselves in the community, but then when it's time to have a snack, when it's time to have a bite to eat, when it's time to plow somebody's cookies or get their cookies plowed, then you want to venture to the non-queer community and get you a piece of sausage. You want to venture all down to, the non-queer community, the non-trans community, and you want to get your a piece of sausage. You want you some biscuits or some cookies or some cakes. And so you want to travel on over there to the non trans to the non queer community, and you want to get your order of biscuits, you want to get your order of cookies, you want you a sausage po' boy. And I just feel like it's toxicity on both sides. um I feel like it's using going on both sides. I feel like a lot of the trans people, they don't want it to be known the stuff that they do in the non-queer community. Cause we got trans people who go into the non-queer community and pickpockets, scam credit cards. You know what I'm saying? Sleep with folks' husbands, sleep with folks' partners, and come into and be in the queer community or the LGBT community, and they're literally crown holders, literally winning titles and representing brands and representing organizations, but be in the non-queer community turning tricks, scamming credit cards, picking pockets, going to the non-queer community and give all forgivings. And and I'm not judging or putting it down or condemning it, because some of it is old habits die hard, and we do come from a society where opportunities weren't freely flowing to the trans community. And I think now, since the trans community is being pushed back underground, we're going to see a lot more of that emerging. A lot more trans people is going to have to start tippy-toeing back across that bridge into the non-queer community, into the non-trans community, to 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 pull them stunts again, to try to see what they can make shake again. They're gonna have to do what they're gonna have to do again. But one thing that one of my sisters told me um about myself, and this is my ideology when it comes to me. Um I identify as whole, but I I I only call myself a trans woman when I'm on the internet and when I'm applying for a grant. But I'm not applying for a grant this year. So I use the word trans woman because, read the room. Like when you're in certain spaces, that's what people used to, you just say it for people. But when I'm not on the internet, I don't call myself that. I allow people to identify me the way they identify me. And most people just see me as a woman. Most people just connect with me in the way you connect with a woman. Like I don't call myself trans. Um I don't I think that a real woman is not something that is based on genitalia. I think that being female is based on genitalia, but I don't think that being like I've heard a couple of women say that. I heard Caitlyn Jenner say something about a real woman, and I heard another trans woman say something about a real woman, and I'm like, but it's not delusional for a trans woman to call herself a real woman because being a woman is not it's it's not your genitalia, it's your gender. So saying I'm a real woman is saying that you identify with the construct and you uphold the construct 10 toes down. Now, if I was someone who held the construct, like if I was someone who upheld the construct 10 toes down, like every day I was on my, you know, trying to live up to the idea of what it meant to be a woman. I was trying to fit into that box. I was always wearing my little lashes, keeping my little hair done, keeping my little nails done, you know what I'm saying? Knowing my place, being submissive, believing that I was his rib, believing that I was his helpmate and trying to be the virtuous woman and, adhering to the, just to the laws of the land and how things go. Like if I was moving like that, then I would call myself a real woman. I'd be like, child, I'm a real woman. Like I would definitely say I was a real woman if I was around here. Like, cause I don't feel like it has to do with genitalia. I feel like it has to do with you living up to the construct. Now, am I biologically female? No, no. Because let's be clear, what would make a real woman is having a vagina. So how can you say that you're not a real woman based on your genitalia and then turn around and call a trans man? So what you saying is that you secretly don't really believe he's a man. That's what y'all saying. Y'all saying that trans men aren't really men. When y'all say that, oh, I'm not delusional, I wasn't born, I wasn't born with a vagina, I'm not a real woman. Okay, so a trans man was born with a vagina. So what you trying to say? He a real woman? Y'all need to make that. See, that's the shit. Y'all be saying shit in the trans community and y'all be the went and got these degrees and shit. Y'all still don't be knowing what y'all be talking about. Y'all be sounding crazy. Y'all be trying to justify some shit and y'all be sounding crazy. Like it's nothing wrong with a trans woman who believes in the constructs. Now I'm still at the end of the day, I'm low key. If me and you get into an argument and you is 10 toes down and you 100% full binary, you a woman, bitch, and me and you reading, bitch, I'm probably gonna call you a halfling. If we're reading, if we're into it, bitch. But I'm not going to say you're not a real woman. I'm not going to tell a trans woman she's not a real woman. I'm not going to take that from her. Sis, you're a real woman. You are not female. You were not born with a womb. You are not born with fallopian tubes. You were not born with ovaries. But bitch, you are a real woman. Question: why do you have to be a trans woman? Why can't you be a man and what you like and look like? Question: why do you have to be a trans woman? I don't know why some people feel they have to be a trans woman. I think you would have to ask somebody who identifies as a trans woman. But for me, I could never be a man because that is too small a box for me. It's being a man, it's too small a box. I'm a manifestation. I'm a whole being. So, Being a man is too small a box for me. I celebrate the ones who could do it. Somebody got to do it. Hold up the light. Stay strong, my brother. Keep the fight going. Good luck with that. And last night, and thank you, Lakeisha. Last night I was talking to this guy that I started talking to on Valentine's Day, and he talked. He was talking. He was saying all the stuff I wanted to hear. He was talking about wholeness. He was talking about honoring the mama. He was giving me all the things that I needed. Like he was saying all of the things that I needed him to say. And last night I talked to him some more, and he started talking about, yeah, because I've let the woman have control before. I know how to treat a woman. And I corrected him. I said, I do want to be the in the relationship, I do want to be the dominant femme energy. I do want to be the being that more so closely resonates with the feminine energy and and channels the foremothers, a lot of the traditional foremothers. I do want to be that being, and I do want to be with somebody who um who resonates more with masculine energy. But I realize I have more work to do on myself, because when he was talking and we started getting into an argument, and he was like, cause I'm a real nigga and I know how to treat a woman. And he was like, cause I'm a real man. And he kept saying he was a real man. And I'm like he kept saying he was a real man, and he kept saying he was a real nigga, and he kept saying, he know how to treat a woman, and I can't tell him how to treat me, and we'll learn each other. And I'm like, how we gonna learn each other if we're not communicating? And so I listened to him talk, and after he got off the phone, I was kind of weak. I kind of shed a tear, and I didn't shed a tear because he hurt my feelings or he broke my heart or anything like that. I shed a tear because I have grown, and sometimes growth is healing. It's relieving, but it's still uncomfortable. Like, I don't know if y'all understand what I'm trying to say. Like, growth is uncomfortable, but it's healing. Like, I was so attracted to his passion and to his aggression, and I know, that he would be protective of me. But wisdom has taught me that I would have to argue with him all the time, because he's always he was he was constantly trying to find a way to finagle himself out of accountability, you know um trying to justify everything that he did or said that was inappropriate. Like he had a justification for everything, and he was struggling with being accountable, and he would resort back to, well, I'm a real nigga, I'm a real man. And I realized that I don't want that. And I have to work on my language and work on myself. And the girls are not helping. A lot of these trans girls, they're not helping. They're not helping to manifest us out of this situation, because they're too busy at the top of the heap gatekeeping. They running around here getting speaking engagements. They running around here in the back rooms with these non-queer people, with these non-trans people. They running around here in these rooms, and they're gatekeepers. So of course they're gonna hold on to the language. They're not gonna try to develop a new language, because they're gonna be learning it with you. Like yeah, like we're learning together. Like we're like the ones who support Lay Lim Lay Lur, and the one who come on this page, and the one who come and we create words together. Like we're actively learning together, and so we're experiencing what our ancestors experienced, which allowed white people to have a head start because that's what allowed them to have generational wealth because they had a head start. So a lot of our coon ass siblings, our raccoon ass siblings, they like, you know what? We just gonna go ahead and play the game as is, so we could come up with the oppressor. So we could be in proximity to the oppressor, and we could get the resources that the oppressor got. That's how you know if somebody really down for you, they willing to build with you from scratch. When people show you who they are, don't just believe them that one time because people are capable of changing. But when people consistently show you the same thing for years and years and years and years, believe them. And a lot of our leaders and our gatekeepers are consistently showing you that yeah, you matter, yeah, they care, yeah, they care, but not to the point to where they're gonna jeopardize their bag. Not to the point to where they're gonna sacrifice anything for you. Let me go ahead and give you this language. Let me go ahead and talk to you in the ways that the colonizer is talking. Let me go ahead and speak to you in the way that the colonizer. And I've already mastered this because I went to college. I have college education. I'm at conferences. I'm always in these people's spaces. I know this language. I'm gonna use this language on you. But I refuse that. Cause trust me, as much conferences as I used to go to, they were already bringing me to all of the conference. I was already on a board where I could have went to all the conferences and knew all of this language and could have been using all this language. But I saw what was happening. It was creating more division, not only against some of the queer community, but also it was creating friction and distance between a lot of my partners who did not identify as queer, who did not identify as trans attracted. They just were human beings. They just were people who liked it me. Most of my partners do not do not like labels, do not wear labels. They're not ashamed to be seen with me in public, but they don't like labels. And I totally understand it. I don't need you to put yourself in a box. I just need you not to be ashamed of me. I just need you not to be somewhere trying to hide me. And I also need for you to be able to defend me when somebody asks you about me. And I asked him when me and him was talking on the phone, that's what made me so proud. He said, I said, so I said, so what if somebody say, so you know that's a man, right? He said that he would say, well, not to me, and at the end of the day, he was conscious of some things. He was like, he told me a clitoris is a penis, and he told me a penis, a penis is a vagina that fell out. Like this was things that he knew. These were things that he was saying. He said, and he said, and I said, well, what if somebody tell you you gay? And he said, well, if they was to tell me I was gay, how can you say you've never done no gay stuff? Because if you watched porn and you've watched a male and a female having sex and your penis was hard while you was watching that male penetrate that female, then that sounds like gay tendencies to me. Because if a male and a female was in the room having sex, would you pull out your penis and start jacking off while the male and the female was having sex? No, but and he said why? And he said a lot of his friends be like, "Well, that's gay." Well, if it's gay to jack off to a man and a woman having sex, how is it not gay to jack off to a man and a woman having sex watching porn? So like every question, And then and then oh yeah, yeah. So every question I told him that like I asked him, he did really, really good at answering it. And that's my problem with a lot of dudes. Like I feel like they don't have the bandwidth to be able to be able to speak, like to be able to speak up, because I need you to speak up and I need you to be able to speak up without stuttering. Don't embarrass me. Do not embarrass me. And if you notice, a lot of these girls that be having boyfriends, these trans girls that be having boyfriends, you'll never really hear him talk. You'll never really hear him talk. The only one that we have heard talk a little bit, child, y'all call him a butch queen. Whoops. I ain't gonna say who it is. But child, he would talk and he would speak up, and child, all y'all was saying he was a butch queen, child. And so we still ain't had that masculine trade energy. You know what I'm saying? That defend the girls and that speak up and that's comfortable with his sexuality and comfortable with his energy. Like, let me tell you something. If the ancestors, I'm starting to feel like I'm not gonna have another partner, and I'm starting to just like come to terms with the fact that my husband Fricel might have been the last of the Mohicans, and it might just be, like, I don't know, when I get a nasty coin, I might just have like a little boy toy or something like that. Have somebody who just, live for me because I got a coin. Like if I become successful, my career take off before I get ready to get up out of here and go back and be with the ancestors. My last relationship might just be like, you know, um, old young buck who just living for me, and I'm giving him old nasty coin honey, and he look up to me and he respect me for being this powerful whole being, and I'm just popping him off, giving him old nasty coin honey, but really he just like some type of just like some type of just he like a fan. He just like old sickening ass fan. Like he just lived for me. He really lived for me. He really low key lived for me. And I live for the fact that he lived for me. So I be breaking bread with him, giving him old nasty coin. You know what I'm saying? And he helped me, you know what I'm saying? Make sure that I'm safe, make sure, like look after me, in my little elderly years. He looking after me and things and whatnot have you. Like I'm starting to feel like that's what's gonna be for me. Like, cause I just don't like now I see when you start really, really tapping into that divine feminine and you start walking into your power, like um transness is transness is not what keeps me from having a man. Like being trans does not keep me from having a man. I know plenty of trans women who have husbands. I know plenty of extremely feminine gay men who look like they trans who have husbands. So being feminine looking and being born male is not what's keeping me from having a partner. Being tapped into that divine feminine, walking in that power, giving that alpha energy, and not taking that bullshit, and walking with that goddess energy on you, walking with that wholeness energy on you. This construct was not made. This construct, this paradigm, this binary system does not have the capacity or the range to cultivate the type of male beings to be that comfortable with themselves, to be that comfortable with their being, to be able to, because see, in order for me to be happy with a partner, like you have to rest in your masculinity, but you also have to be comfortable with not always having to be in the lead, not always having to be right. Like not always having to feel like you're in control. And that's not the type of like, and not being insecure about that. Like a lot of these so-called men, they are so fragile, their egos are so fragile, their peace is so fragile, they are so insecure and so sensitive, and they always talking about women being emotional, but a lot of them are more emotional than females, more emotional than they accuse females of being. A lot of these men, they are very sensitive, they're very emotional, they're very insecure, and they cannot handle a strong feminine energy because it reminds them of their mama, and they don't want another mama. They don't want another mama. They can only handle one strong energy like that. And so when you give them that mama energy, pew, they don't like that. They don't like too much of that mama energy. They start to feel like they drowning. They start to feel like they start to feel like they don't have no power. They start to feel powerless. They start to feel less, they can't handle that. So it's not me being trans. It's not me being positive. It's not that I was born male. It's not any of those things that keep me from having a relationship or keep me from having a man. It's me walking in my power. And I see beings who are born with wombs who identify as women and go through the same shit I do. They are powerful, they walk in their power, and it's not a man who is confident enough and secure enough in himself to hold space. Cause guess what? They gonna get together and they gonna gossip like hens. They got this one female, um, and she sell herbal stuff. Her name is Crystal, and live in New Orleans. She live in New Orleans. And she sell like these healing herbs, like these healing medicines. She gave birth to her last child on live. She had a boyfriend when she gave birth to her last child on live. She got like 4 or 5 children, so I know, the men be there at some point, but they don't stay because she too strong. She too she too whole. She too powerful. And I could hear the men talking amongst themselves. Bruh, you let your old lady give birth online. Everybody saw her pussy online. Like you let her push that baby out online, bruh. Bruh, you let your female man, bruh, you let her show her pussy to everybody. Bruh, I saw your old lady pussy online when she was giving birth to that child. Niggas don't ha- And I'ma say niggas because niggas don't have the range. I'm not saying it in a complimentary way. I'm saying nigga in the way that it's meant to be used. Niggas don't have the range. And that's all we dealing with is niggas. See, a God, a divine whole one, a masculine being who realizes that his mother lives in him, and that's part of where his power comes from, he would say something like, yes, did you see my goddess give birth to our child online? Was that not beautiful? Was that not amazing? She gave birth with no epidurals. She wasn't in a hospital. She didn't have to take no medicine. She didn't have to take no pills. She gave birth. She's a warrior. She's a warrior. I'm so proud of her. Like that is the level of consciousness that a lot of these men lack. These demons. these demands, cause they demanifestations, not demons. I'm saying demand intentionally because they are demands. They're ashamed of the power of the mother. They're ashamed to acknowledge that part of their power comes from the mother. Because, see, a lot of us think we're under the delusion that only females and only femmes can be succubi. Men can be succubus too. Males can be succubi too. That's the deception, that only womb bearers, that only females can be succubuses. One of my gay brothers in the community, Yee, said niggas can be gay too. Well, niggas can be succubuses too. They can be energy vampires too. Yes, I had a trans friend and her boyfriend never talked. It was weird. And we come from a generation where, we thought it was cute when the boy didn't talk. We thought it was cute when the boy would go in the other room and shut the door, or when the boy didn't socialize with the girls, he knew his place and he went in the other room. But let me tell you something. I don't do that shit with my old man because I know one thing. He'll show you one face, and when you not around, he'll show another face. So don't go in there and hide. Don't go in the other room. Now, if me and him just met each other and we just getting to know each other and we just starting to be around each other, then of course we need to build a foundation first before, because child, how are we fortifying our bond and building our bond if people are always in our face from the beginning? But once me and him to have some time to spend around each other and to fortify our bond and fortify our connection, no, nigga, don't go in the other room. Don't no, I want to see how you act when you get a cocktail in you. I want to see how you act when you're around my friends. I want to see how you behave yourself. I want to see how you conduct yourself. Cause I don't want to hear when one of my friends come back from the streets and say, "Oh, your man tried to talk to me. Your man tried to holler at me," and I don't have no basis upon which to see. I gotta see how you move around my friends. And the one thing that I used to love about all of my exes, every time my best friends would flirt with them, or every time my close friends would flirt with them, they would always run back and tell me. And I ain't fall out with my friend because I understood. I understood the girls. In Erica Badu said, I understand the game. Sometimes. Bitch, I understand the game. Bitch, I wasn't mad at my sisters. I was happy that I had a man who told me. I was happy that I had a man who told me what time it was so I could know what was up with that hoe. So I could know how to treat that hoe. So I could know how to deal with that hoe. But I ain't cut her off. I ain't fall out with her. I'm not that type of girl. I'm not gonna fall out with you behind no man. Now, I done had girls to fall out with me behind my man. I done had girls to come try to fight me behind my husband. But I don't fall out with my sisters behind no man. Yeah, I always was able to do good with balance. I gave my man his time. I treated him how he needed to be treated. I fed him. I did all the little traditional stuff when I was into all of that when I was a Christian. I fed him. I made sure he was taken care of, but I always made time for community. I made time for my sisters. A lot of girls, when they get a man, the reason why they're able to keep a man is because once they get a piece of dick, once they get a husband, baby, you kiss their ass. They got a man now. That man come first. That king come first. Father God, King Jesus in the flesh. I got some man. I got to see about my man. I sure you understand. I got some man. And he comes first. Now, I'm not. I've always had to still do community. I've always still had to do my community work. And see, that's another thing with a lot of these men. They want to be the center of your world, but they don't want to do the work it takes. You know, um, I had to cut another one of my male friends off because um I say all of this, like I be posting all the time. I be posting all this profound stuff on my timeline. And I think I said this before in another video. But yeah, I'm posting all of this profound stuff on my timeline. And the only time this nigga will comment is when I'm throwing my ass in a circle when I'm twerking or something. And I'm like, you letting me know what you think of me. Like you just look at me as a sex object. And dudes be quick to put you in that box. Like they be quick to put you there. Like they be quick to sexualize you and reduce you to that one aspect of yourself. And then and it's perpetuated by questions like, I want to get to know you. Baby, you on my Facebook? You on my Instagram? You on my YouTube? Cause it's all out there. I'm an open book. What you need to know, what you want to know about. I send you my social media handles, baby. It'll take you a weeks, and by the time you finish researching, you will know everything you need to know to step correctly. But you don't really want to know that. You want to look at my pictures and lust off of them. You want to go straight to the pictures that show what I'm shaped like, how my body look. You're not concerned about what I have to say, what my thoughts are, what are the things that are important to me, what I'm passionate about. You're not concerned about none of that. Because society has brainwashed you and groomed you to be very surface. And that's the reason why I wrote the poem that I wrote that I shared today. Because a lot of this, and I'm going to close with this. A lot of what it's going to take for us to heal is for, and I'm talking about black people specifically. What it's going to take for black people to heal collectively is for a lot of black women, a lot of black females, a lot of black non-trans women to heal mentally from the scars that has been caused to them by the patriarchy, by the brotherhood. There's gonna have to, it needs to be a group of them. It needs to be a community of them that aligns themselves with the type of trans people that is not trying to compete with them, that is not still holding on to bitterness, because some trans girls are still holding on to bitterness and cannot stand cis women, cannot stand non-trans women, cannot stand um beings that were born with wombs and identify with the construct of womanhood. There's a lot of trans women who cannot stand them. And you cannot, and in order to foster and cultivate the type of space for women of all kind to heal collectively, we have to breathe that type of energy out. There cannot be trans women who are holding contempt for non-trans women in the space. There cannot be women who are born with wombs, who identify with the construct of womanhood, who are holding contempt for trans women and do not respect gay men in the space. We cannot have that. We need to have a space to weed that out, a space to see if that energy is there, to make sure that that space, to make sure that energy is rooted up out of the space before we go into the healing space. But once we get into the space where we could start to have the conversations and doing the type of work that helps us to heal collectively, and we could start really, really raising up the divine feminine, we could really start raising up that energy, and we could get the type of collective of non-trans and trans femmes who can come together and can start to confront the patriarchy in a way that is healing, that is restorative of the divine mother, like in the divine feminine aspect. Like when we can cultivate that space, and it's not happening right now, it's not happening under this leadership. It's not happening. Cause this language that a lot of these gatekeepers are using, these black trans women, the language y'all using is not sacred. Black women are listening to you. They coming on your platforms listening to you. They respect you, but they don't really feel it. It's not transcending. They're not ready to go to war for you. They're not ready to go to war for this movement over what you're saying. It's just teaching them game. And it's time out for the game. It's time for the real. All these trans women now on these platforms, these gatekeepers, all y'all doing is giving these females game. All y'all doing is giving them game. Game recognized game. That's all you doing is giving them game. You're not giving them real. You ain't doing real. We ain't talking real. And we not gonna collectively heal until we do that work. And it's gonna take for us to create a cure, to create an antidote through coming together collectively that helps to defeat, that helps to heal the divine feminine and helps her to stand up so that we can create a community of men, create a community of males that are more whole. We need to go back to the drawing board on on a whole generation of the XY chromosome. We got to go back to the drawing board on a whole sector. And it's going to take a collective space cuz they're nurtured by us, whether we trans or whether we are non-trans, whether we was born with a womb or whether we laid on the table or whether we still pre-op. We are nurturers. We create home. We create a space for them to feel loved and seen and to be able to go out and get what they need and bring it home to us in this patriarchal world. And we need to create a space that could help to evolve them and help to move them to the forefront, help them to stand out, and help them to start to set a precedence. We need to do something different with these males. These males, they don't have to be women, but they also don't have to be whatever this is that we this toxic version of a halfling. They could be whole, and they could still rest in their masculinity, and they don't have to be self-hating. They don't have to be homophobic. They don't have to be transphobic. We don't have to put all of these isms and phobias in them, and that they got to stand on in order to validate their masculinity. We don't have to embed that toxicity into. We don't have to put all of that in them. We need to go back to the drawing board with these males. We need to go back to the drawing board with these beings who identify as men. Because either they coming out gay and they want to go be with each other, or they coming out toxically masculine, It's just a lot going on. It's just a lot going on. And I mean, this is not even something that's happening for birth like it happens with a lot of trans people, because a lot of trans people, we know who we are at childhood. A lot of these males are just doing this shit because it's trending. A lot of these men just doing this toxic shit for acceptance. And so we have to create a strong enough circle and a strong enough community for them to be able to heal, for them to be able to put down these video games and put down this porn and put down these cell phones and stop programming themselves with all this toxicity. Yeah, so I mean that's it. I will go ahead and get off this live tonight. And we'll burn the candle when I come live tomorrow. I applaud you. Oh, thank you. I can't say that name. I'm gonna say Carrie. All right, I'm gonna burn the candle tomorrow. Down but another that I say Kuiki spinning and turning and Gani Yanko Kalukalo, which means I am a child of God Goddess. If I am, you know you are. Bound in round, both circle and square. We too speak life, so operations beware, sending healing to those in despair, ill by both, so which means we come in peace, no harm to any, lay limb, lay lur. I love you. Remember to light your candles on the physical plane, knowing that when we blow it out, it grows with intensity and purpose on the spiritual plane, preparing us for times that are now. Amen, a woman. I thank y'all. Love y'all as above, so below, as within, so without. Yeah. And you don't have to be filthy rich to stand on business. Good night. Later.